1.
Welcome to American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as we have a special 14U matchup between the Germantown Jr Warhawks and the Lake Zurich Cougars 14U Blue. The Cougars, coming off of a big win last night and a 16-6 victory. Had 7 different pitchers in only 1 inning. In the 4th inning was all the runs. What can they do to try to build off of that victory in this one, Kyle?
I think Anthony, you throw out all the records. You're at American Family Field. It's all about having fun. It's all about throwing strikes. You know, when you try to be too creative in an environment like this, you might overthink it, and you throw a fastball when you really should have thrown a curveball in 0-2. National anthem, we'll talk about it in a minute.
And with the national anthem, we are just minutes away from first pitch in what should be a very intriguing matchup, which is a rematch of the Memorial Day Championship of 2022, one of the first games that these teams played after the COVID break.
Yeah. Actually, 2020, it was the Salem, Wisconsin Memorial Day Championship. Right when guys were allowed to play baseball again, right? Remember, we're in quarantine from March to May, and then all of a sudden teams had to practice for just a week, and then all the tournaments kept going after that. So these guys had pretty much no practice time during quarantine. They went out and played a tournament, the Memorial Day Championship from 2020. I wasn't umping then. I'm sure it was a very interesting experience for the umpires. At that time, the umpire had to wear the mask plus the mask to make sure he didn't get hit by a foul ball. And, 2020, it's something I'm going to remember, both for the good and the bad, mostly the bad. But, yeah, they played in 2020 during that Salem Memorial Day Championship. It was the initial COVID shutdown. That was 12U baseball, so things have changed a little bit. I'm sure the rosters have changed a little bit. Travel teams change a little bit from year to year. But, yeah, it's a rematch from a couple years ago.
Yeah, definitely some different things to look at with these two teams. For the Cougars, they've struggled a little bit up and down this season, but right now riding that 3-game winning streak. But like you said, for Germantown, anything goes in this park. So especially with the field being bigger, as we take a look, what do the outfielders need to do to make sure that that ball stays in front of them?
Yeah, so we got 342 down the first base line. I believe it's 342 down the first base line. You're going to be probably playing at 200 to 250 feet depth, since it's 14U, not 18U. You want everything in front of you, right? Because even though they mowed the grass today, it's still going to die a little bit on the grass, and you want to make sure that everything's in front of you. Also, you got to have a good read off the ball. So what you're going to hear the aluminum bat, crack of the bat. In this instance, the ping of the bat, and you're going to make sure that you're running to the ball, not that backtrack nonsense that they sometimes teach you in house league. Run to the ball. Don't play too deep. I would be shocked if you see left fielders and right fielders play the gaps at 300 plus feet depth. I think you're going to see 200 to 250 foot depth for the outfielders. Keep everything in front of you. First step back, and then try to make that diving catch on that blooper into the outfield.
And another thing that I think needs to be touched on is a lot of 14U kids have never played in a Major League Baseball stadium. Yep. So pop-ups and fly balls might look differently with the roof.
Yep.
Do you think that is going to play any type of factor?
I think it actually helps them. The roof is open. There's not a lot of sunlight coming in, obviously, because it's a Major League Park. You see that there's shadows on the first base side going towards home plate. So it's not like in a Little League field where there's so much sun resistance as you're trying to catch the fly ball. I don't think it's going to factor in at all. I think the nerves are going to set in, though. Your family's here, your mom and dad, you're at Miller Park. This isn't your normal Little League or 14U baseball game. So for these kids, try to put that aside, play baseball, and like we talked about before the national anthem, don't overthink everything. If it's 0-2 and your best pitch is a curveball and you feel comfortable with it, just throw it. If your best pitch is an 80-mile-an-hour fastball, just throw it on the inner part, try to get that down and away. But if you feel comfortable in that pitch, don't overthink things and try to throw that slider that you haven't been practicing just because you want to put on a good show at American Family Field.
Yeah, a very big moment for both of these teams is to not let the moment get the best of them. Just because it's a bigger stadium, you've got a lot of empty seats, adrenaline going. You still got to stick to your game. And this is really what sets apart the great teams from just the good teams.
Yep.
Can you manage your emotions?
Absolutely. And really, you want to win the game, obviously, as you got Guzak at first base to start this one. But play within yourself and don't let the moment be too big for you. If you make a mistake, you suck it up and you move on to the next play. You don't think about it just because we're recording the game in 720 and 1080p, and you don't think about it because it's American Family Field. It's just like a normal championship game that you would play down in Peoria. It's just a nicer field, and the stakes are a little bit higher because you don't really play at American Family Field all the time. This will probably be the first and only time for a lot of these kids unless they make it to the Major League level. But don't think about it too much, but also play the game you've been playing since 8U travel ball.
Yeah, I would say that the emotions will probably subside a little bit after they get that first inning, that first at-bat out of the way, as we are just about to get underway with the pitcher on the mound for the Cougars is number 10, Aiden Christian.
Yeah, Aiden Christian, you're seeing a lot of fastballs, and I like it. I've always wondered, and I used to be a catcher, and I would always wonder why my starting pitcher would show the breaking ball in warm-ups. Why do you want to show that? Now, he's showing the hanger. He's not going to show the actual 12-6 action on the breaking ball during warm-ups. But I like what Christian's doing. He's just showing 4-seam and 2-seam fastballs. No need to show anything else on the scouting report to start off the game. Get ahead, stay ahead, kid. Get the ball down and away. Try to locate and try to avoid the middle of the zone.
As Christian is ready to fire the first pitch. And it is low for ball one, and we are underway from American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Doesn't get much better than this, partner. 14U baseball in Major League Stadium.
As that ball's grounded through the hole on the left side of the field for a leadoff single for John Murkowski.
That's what we talked about, Anthony. Get ahead, stay ahead. Fell behind 1-0. Pretty much have to throw him a fastball there. It's probably going to be middle in. Drove it into left field. Now you're in a little bit of trouble, but at least he didn't walk him.
Yeah, good point on the no walks. You want to make sure that you're at least forcing the opposition to earn their hits, earn their base runners.
I like the slide step there as that's drilled over to the foul side on third base.
Yeah, the slide step there to try to neutralize the running game from the leadoff hitter Murkowski on first base.
0-1 the count, and I think he's going to throw a breaking ball here. Now, things are a little bit different at 14U versus varsity as these kids are trying to get ready for varsity. I would throw a breaking ball, see if you can get him to pop something up.
Saw the slide step on the first pitch, now a pickoff attempt on Murkowski, making sure that he's keeping him close at first.
Yeah, usually leadoff hitters, they're your best guy on the base pass.
Then they went ahead with the pitch out on that as well, but to no avail as Murkowski's in there very easily.
You know, a misconception about baseball is the pitch out, you just kind of lob it in there. You still got to rocket fire over to the pitch out for the catcher, because when you slowly throw the ball in the pitch out, it gives the runner an extra step or two to slide into second base.
As that ball is fouled up, catcher over, and it is missed.
Yep, there was Larson going after it.
No, that's Moran, the catcher. The Cougars catcher Moran just kind of lollygagged over there for a second.
See, I got confused because you had the positions here, but then you go and buy innings. Apologize for that.
Yeah, he just kind of lollied over there and just wasn't able to secure the catch. And that's going to give Reinke another chance.
Yeah, good idea on 1-2. You don't always have to throw your best pitch, but you got to throw the pitch you feel the most confident in when you're head in the zone. 2-2 the count.
Another foul ball from Reinke. A good battle brewing here.
Yeah, the old song from the 70s, staying alive, staying alive. He showed it right there. Just got a piece of it. Fight for another day.
And the payoff from Christian. And that one, too, is fouled back off the netting.
I would throw it again. The same spot. The only thing you're going to be able to do with a high fastball like that is foul it off. It's almost impossible to tomahawk that pitch. And if you tomahawk it in a Major League stadium like this, it's probably going to be a Major League pop-up for a flyout.
He goes to the off-speed pitch, it looked like, and that one was in the dirt. Now it moves it full. Should have probably just went with the fastball.
I would have, too. He was getting him that chase, that four-seam fastball out of the zone, another pickoff play. I don't love pickoff plays at second base because the chance of it being successful are slim to none. I think you just step off or do that little twist move over to second to watch him.
As that ball is grounded, shortstop Zabel picks it up, fires the first, but it's not in time as Reinke legs out the infield single, and now there'll be runners at the corners.
You don't want this game to get away from you. 14U different from 12U. We talked about how these teams played at the 12U level. I'd bring the corners in, but I understand if you want to play for a double play here.
Middle infield looking to turn two as he takes for second, and they go with the mid pick kind of, where the shortstop comes in front of the bag at second, so no play at second, trying to get that runner, but he wisely holds up.
Yeah, you want to get, if you're the catcher, I know it's easier said than done, but you want to get that ball on a line or possibly a little lower so that's easier for the shortstop to catch and throw it over to third.
And that's A.J. Melcher fouling off the second pitch of the at-bat. Now 1-1 the count.
I'd go with a changeup on the inner part.
He does go off speed there and gets the called strike. Now 1-2, really looking for a strikeout with two runners in scoring position.
Gotta be careful, though. Make sure your catcher can block it.
He goes down in the zone again.
I love 14U baseball. Kids on the dugout. You got to wear that, kid. He's not wrong. It would have loaded the bases.
As Melcher fouls that one right to his dugout. We'll do it again.
In baseball, the old saying from Yogi Berra, 90% of baseball is 50% mental. What he means by that, you always got to be thinking. Even when you're not thinking, think. If it's a one-hopper to first, I think Guzak should go to the plate. If it's a two-hopper or more, just step on the bag and look at the runner rounding third base. Always be thinking. Always think about when the ball is going to be coming to you.
As Melcher lines that one down the right field line, and it is going to be a fair ball. Two runs are going to come in to score, and Melcher is going to round second, and he's digging for third. And Gallo is just going to jog this one into the infield, and that is a two-run triple for Melcher as the Germantown Warhawks take a 2-0 lead.
Bad things happen when you can't get batters out. But good at bats by Germantown from their 1 through 3 hitters. Working the count, getting something they can drive. Being aggressive, but also not swinging at the first pitch if it's on the outer part of the plate. Great job working the count.
And that's Conrad popping up foul down the right field line, 0-1 with Melcher at third.
With one out, actually nobody out, just need a fly ball to make it 3-0.
This was definitely the start that the Warhawks were looking for. Back-to-back singles and then a two-run triple to give them the early lead.
You see, that's what I don't like about baseball. You know how catchers are starting to go to one knee to frame that pitch? Good umpires usually don't call that a strike because that was close to being a strike, but since he went down to one knee, ball. And I understand the reasoning behind it because when you get down to one knee, it gives you more athleticism to try to frame that pitch. But at the same time, why are you going down to one knee to get that low pitch?
As that was a better job by the catcher there. He kind of just picked that one up off the ground rather than going down to his knees. Better showing for the umpire. And the swing and miss there, and that is finally the first out for Christensen.
He's battling. We've seen a lot of 3-2 counts to start off this top of the first. You're not always going to have your best stuff. You got to find a way to battle and find your way into a groove as you continue to play on at American Family Field.
Well, and I think credit goes to the Warhawks batters as well for putting up good at-bats early, seeing a lot of pitches, not swinging at bad pitches, fouling off.
They are forcing Christian to bring one right down the middle on him.
As he does, and he grounds to short as Zabel throws on, and it is scooped up by Guzak at first base. So 2 outs, but the run does come in to score, and it is now 3-0.
It looked like the shortstop for Lake Zurich was a little bit in between there. What do I do with the ball? He was eyeing home plate. On a spot like that, when you're not in, you just got to go 1-1-1 all the way. And luckily, Guzak was able to pick that out. Kind of looked like Joey Votto on that pick.
Yeah, good play by Guzak, but like you were saying, that's one of those plays that Zabel, he's got to be thinking before the ball's even hit, where am I going if it comes to me?
You know, it's Yogi Berra said some interesting things over the years, but that's the quote that really resonates with me. 90% of the game is 50% mental. If you're not always thinking on the field, mistakes can happen, and we almost saw it at short there.
So the 1-1 is swung on, an off-speed pitch in the dirt. Now Christian's got him where he wants him, needs to execute this last pitch.
I'd go with a high fastball here.
He goes off-speed away. Hagelin was able to take that one. I do agree with the up fastball here. That one caught way too much of the plate as it's lined into left field for a 2-out single by Hagelin.
So Larson's going to pitch in the second regardless. So if you're wondering why Guzak and the coaching staff for Lake Zurich doesn't have anybody warmed up, no point, because you already had your defensive alignment before the game started. And you don't want to ruin his confidence either. He already has 2 outs. If he gave up a dinger, maybe you consider getting somebody warmed up. But nah, I mean, this is an exhibition game. Just have fun with it.
And we saw this approach from Lake Zurich in their game last night as well, trying to preserve some of their arms from having to go too many innings, just having a guy go 1 inning.
You know, and it's also an experience that you want the kids to remember forever. There's no point in having your best pitcher pitch 5 when he's pitched 5 the whole year. You know what he can do. You want to see what your other players can do.
And it's always a treat to get your players out there on this mound in this setting. It's just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
You get to see what a real mound feels like. I always hate those artificial mounds that they put in a tournament.
As Hagelin steals second without a throw. Another runner in scoring position.
Yeah, that actually would have been defensive indifference, but the last second base and shortstop ran to the bag. So we'll call it a steal, but it was close to being DI.
And that pitch will move the count full with 2 outs to Addy Ludke.
Got to be careful here. Yeah.
And he misses up high and walks him, the 2-out walk.
That was on purpose. With first base open, now you got to force it third, second, and first. Why would you want to put something in his wheelhouse on 3-2 when they've proven they can hit fastballs on 3-2 counts?
Before Parker Zobel comes up to bat, we are going to get a meeting on the mound. We're going to get a selfie on the mound. Kind of coach's tone. Hey, breathe. Look where you're at right now. Let's just relax.
Yep.
No pressure.
So he took out the phone and he did a selfie as well. That's awesome. Force at any base. Try to get him to ground out to the third baseman.
As Christian answers right back with a strike.
You got to give credit to the Warhawks. They are refusing to swing on the first pitch. They're sticking to their strategy.
As a bad swing and miss there, but the pitch does get to the backstop. MLB field, big backstops. Catchers really got to hustle. Pitchers got to cover the home plate.
It's 90-foot bases, They're playing 60 foot 6 inches, 90-foot bases, MLB rules when it comes to the base pass. If it gets to the backstop, still try to make a play if you're the catcher, because these runners don't always play on 60, 90. Sometimes they play 55, 80.
Zobel just able to throw the hands at that one and foul it off to stay alive.
You're down 3-0. Anything hit to the outfield, I think you're forced to go to the plate unless it's like a 3-hopper to the gap. You've got no chance to get the runner at second. You're going to have to go straight home with it because you don't want it to be a 5-0 game.
Well, and on the flip, I think I would expect the Warhawks runners to be trying to score, as that's popped on the infield. Christian under it and secures the catch for the final out, but not before the Warhawks put up 3 in the top of the first. This is SBS.